Welcome back, everybody, to the Real Pro Volleyball Fans podcast. This is Beck, your host. Let's dive in. For this episode, we have something very special. With the first PVF championship coming up, the teams are getting set to compete in Omaha. I had the privilege of speaking with the woman serving it all up, CEO Jen Spicher. Check it out. Thank you so much for coming on the show with us. This is our first podcast. It's in its first year.
Wow.
With the
inaugural?
The inaugural season of the podcast, just with you guys.
I'm so excited to be here and be your first guest. Thank you for having me, Rebecca.
Mm-hmm. Our purpose for this podcast was to create something specifically for the Pro Volleyball Federation. And I've loved volleyball my whole entire life. And the more I'm learning about the Pro Volleyball Federation, I'm falling more in love with it. I really think what you guys are doing is really incredible.
Thank you.
So from the interviews I've been watching, I came to the understanding of how important and personal this is to you.
Oh, it's very important and personal. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So can you tell me, when you were younger, what was your perspective on volleyball and what made you love it so much?
So I played in college, played in high school, won a state championship. It was the ultimate team sport for me. I did play basketball and didn't really like softball. I rode horses, so that's a very individual sport. But volleyball is a very team-oriented sport. You can't have one superstar. And so it was just the community of volleyball is just very welcoming and very inclusive, and I just really enjoyed it from day one.
And you were a middle blocker.
I was middle blocker when they didn't require a vertical jump. Yeah, I'm that old.
But looking back at your years at Wayne State, did you ever imagine that the people you met there were gonna create an opportunity for you like
Never.
this?
Never, not in a million years. I could have never dreamt this in 1,000 Sundays.
Really?
It's when he made that phone call to me over 2 years ago, and I hadn't talked to him in 22 years. I was absolutely floored about I knew what he was doing, and I knew he was in the pro sports and entertainment world, but I had no idea he had his eye on women's indoor volleyball, and certainly had no idea that he had me pegged for the role. And it's worked out beautifully. I'm obviously doing my league, my team are doing a phenomenal job of getting us through this first inaugural season. But it's been a lot of fun, and it's hard. It's not easy.
It's very hard.
Yeah.
Out of all the people that Dave could have picked to help out with this, because I know he has many years of sports entertainment under his belt. How did you feel when he called you? You were the one that he wanted to lead specifically for the league.
Yeah.
So
I was in disbelief, to be honest.
Disbelief?
And the first thing I said to him was, "Why me?" And then he responded with, "Why not?" And he said, "Just look at your career over the last 30 years, and you've been building sports, building sales and marketing teams for, billion-dollar companies, very large corporations across the world. I've been negotiating global contracts across the world." And he goes, "And your last name is Spicher."
Which, pun intended.
Kind of helps.
Yeah, Spicher. How has being the CEO changed your lifestyle?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm a workaholic anyways.
Yeah.
And my last job, I was the chief revenue officer, and it wasn't, I work 9 to 9, sometimes 9 to 11.
9 to 9.
The sense of urgency in this job is much different. There's still a sense of urgency in the sales role and in developing sales and marketing teams, but there was a lot more delegation. I had bigger staffs, and so that was a lot easier to deal with. This is a startup, and you have to run it very lean, and that's what we're doing, Okay. So we have, a limited number of resources at the league level, and there'll be time to add to our staffs in the coming years. But right now, we've got people, that work for me and work for the league wearing multiple hats.
Multiple hats.
Me included.
Gotcha. Yeah, I see that. You're working very hard, and I salute you to that all the way.
Thank you.
What is your philosophy for keeping such a strong relationship over all these years? Because that's 22 years is a very long time.
I wouldn't say it was a strong relationship. I mean, obviously, we had a very solid relationship when we were together at Wayne State University, and then we both left at the same time and ended up working for the Red Wings organization, which is Mr. and Mrs. Illich. And so we stayed in contact then. When he left in '99, I really lost complete, contact with him.
Yeah.
But a good, strong relationship always has the fundamentals of trust and loyalty, and that's why he sought me out.
Well, how did your friend feel when you told her that you were going to go through with this and everything? Because you're doing this for her specifically, correct?
Well, she's one of the people that I knew firsthand was going through a difficult time when she was in Europe playing volleyball. And she's here with me tonight. I stay with her when I come to Vegas. So she was certainly an inspiration.
She lives here in Vegas?
Yes, she does.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep. And yeah, so she was certainly an inspiration. But, you know, starting a women's professional league is I mean, who gets to say that?
No,
And
but
so it
not
was
that
an
many
amazing
people.
opportunity, and you know, it was a lot of risk. A lot of risk involved. You know, I had the business side, but I didn't have a lot of sports and entertainment experience, and I've learned a ton along the way, and still learning every day. And
Yeah.
you know, it's been terrific, and it's been amazing, and it's been super fun to watch these athletes compete.
Yes, and that's a good balance between you, Dave, and Steven, right? You guys have like all of that put together. Like you have the love for volleyball. Like you know more volleyball than they do. That's what they were saying. So they wanted, you know, the women to kind of lead the league, and like for you specifically to do that. You have 2 babies, right?
I do. I have.
babies.
Well, I don't have babies anymore.
Yeah.
They're 20 and 21, so they're well on their way.
Yeah,
One's almost off the payroll. Almost.
Really?
Yeah.
My mom said she got a raise after I graduated.
There you go.
college, so
There
I was
you
like,
go.
all right, fine, that's cool.
Yeah, he's scheduled to graduate in September.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you.
That'll be good. So it's a son and a daughter.
Yep,
so,
one of
correct?
each.
Okay.
Brock and Bryn.
Rogan, Bryn?
Bryn.
Bryn, nice, beautiful. Actually.
Yeah.
I like that. As a mom to a daughter, do you feel that being a girl mom helped you be more attentive to the smaller details of the league, or taking the girls out to go try on the apparel and then making sure that, you know, they have a nice place to live, like they're not just put anywhere when they go to the cities that they're assigned to?
Yeah, and I don't even think it's about being a girl mom. I think it's just about being a mom.
Just being a mom.
You know, wanting the best for these athletes.
Yes.
Wanting it to be real pro volleyball, wanting it to be top notch and you know, accommodating for them so that they want to come back. That was all very important to me, and I told them that from day one. The very first phone call I made was to Ashley Evans, and she's playing now for the Grand Rapids Rise. And the second call I made was to Morgan Hentz, and she's now playing the libero position for the Atlanta Vibe. And the third call I made was to Tori Stringer, who's playing the setter role for Columbus Fury. And so, you know, I was very transparent. I was very forthright. I was very direct, as I always am in most business communications. And I told them what we were going to do. And you know, in business, you do what you say you're going to do, and we've done that. We've done everything we've said we're going to do and more for these athletes, and I think they're super excited not only about, you know, being halfway through year 1, but on to year 2 and the championships coming up at the end of May.
And they feel like well cared for too, and that's something I love. It's like so wholesome, the whole entire league.
Right.
That's something I just really admire. Like, it's proud to you guys, because like I haven't seen that at all yet.
Thank you.
But you guys are doing so many things differently than everybody else in volleyball. What made you guys choose Franklin over Mikasa? Also, why choose Ren Athletics over Mizuno and Under Armour?
So first with Franklin, you know, they approached us at the AVCA back in 2022, and they wanted to disrupt the volleyball world, the indoor volleyball world. They're a huge company, and this is a business. So there was a handshake deal, but there was also money involved and revenues and merchandise rights, and this is about making money for our league. And Franklin brought the best opportunity for us to do that. You know, we were on board. What new league doesn't have their own ball? Yeah, right. So we have the real pro volleyball, and you know, at first all the athletes were like, "Really? Why would I?" And there's a lot of commotion, but nobody's saying anything now, right? I mean, it's working out great. And with Ren Apparel, we were approached by Conrad's son. His daughter Lexi played for Nebraska and Texas, and he said, you know, I want to give back to the sport that's given so much to my family. And so we did a deal with Ren, and we took the girls down there, and they loved their clothing. It's super soft. It's really nice. Their pro collection is pro. Yeah. And I encourage people, when they go to our website and go to the Volley Shop, buy from the pro collection because it is much nicer than the just the regular merch.
Yeah, that's ran by Natalie Haglin from USC.
Yes,
correct?
Natalie Haglin's awesome. You've done your homework.
Oh yeah, I used to go out to the USC games because that's where I'm originally from. My dad was a USC alum for the baseball team out there. So I would naturally just go out there, and I loved all USC before.
That's awesome.
But this is gonna grow for Natalie's company as well, no?
Yep.
Like with everyone kind of, you know.
Well,
going
next year we have
towards
3 more teams
coming in.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they'll be taking care of us next year as well.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'm so excited to see all that. What are your thoughts on watching the season unfold right now? Is everything as you expected it to be so far?
Everything is actually better than I expected it to be.
Really?
I couldn't have wished for a better start to our season. The parity in the league is amazing. On any given night, any team can beat somebody else, anybody else really, and you've seen that several times. You know, saw it last week when Columbus beat Atlanta, and we saw it Sunday night here when the Mojo, which was in last place, beat the Vegas Thrill, and tonight I expect the Thrill to throw out an amazing game, just because they didn't have a great outing last time.
Yeah.
And Grand Rapids is out of their home; it's a long flight, so we'll see. But the parity in the league's been terrific. The gals are holding up well. We don't have a lot of people on injured reserve, which is nice. And making sure that it's top-notch quality volleyball it's been the easy part.
Yeah. With the broadcast deal, this is a fan question, by the way.
Okay.
But with the broadcast deal with CBS, would the game still be streamed live on YouTube after April 6th?
So the 10 matches, which are the 7 in-season matches, and then the championships and the semifinals, which are on the 15th and the 18th of May, will not be streamed on YouTube.
Will not be streamed on YouTube?
No, they are CBS. They are CBS Sports Network productions. They will be put on YouTube 72 hours later. However, we are looking at how do we create that chat fan base, because if you notice on YouTube, there's like over
so
300 people that join, and they're like, hey, you're back, and it's kind of fun, and so we're trying to figure out how to create that chat fan base.
How to keep that community. Is CBS Sports on like an app or anything that people can download? Do you have to pay for that?
I would assume so, yes.
Yeah, I assume so. Okay, I got you.
I haven't looked into it yet, but
yeah, me neither. But I know that's what a lot of fans have seen, because I'm on the YouTube streams too, like when I can't go out to games. So I've watched it from like the very first one to like all the most recent ones. And that's what like a lot of people are like asking, like, what's going to happen afterwards? And I'm like, I don't know, I'll ask her.
Well, and we were signed up to do Bally's and Stadium, which are both, paywalls. And unfortunately that didn't work out, but sometimes, YouTube is a blessing and a curse.
Yes.
Right? YouTube has given us an opportunity to showcase all the matches across the world. I mean, I've got Logan Tom, who's, picking players of the week in Israel, watching the matches the next morning, which is super convenient. It's convenient for her. But, again, it's a curse when we do get paid to have these matches on TV. They won't be on YouTube, and people are going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I know. It's okay, though. It's okay. Well, it just gives us more of a push to kind of go out there. It's just like with when NCAA went from YouTube to going on ESPN, which it's a blessing, because that means the fan base is growing and volleyball's more popular now. It's the third most watched.
Yep.
Yeah,
sport.
that's what you guys say. With this being the first league ever to share revenue, do you expect athletes in other sports to want to follow suit in the future?
I would think so, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, it's about time we offered it to women's sports.
So what does that mean exactly? So like,
well, we're the first women's sport to offer it to our athletes.
So
that I'm aware of. I don't know about the men's version. I would assume the NFL does some.
I haven't heard anything like that at all.
But it's exciting for the athletes. Yeah. It gives them a stake in it.
And also gives them an opportunity to kind of learn like business and everything too, instead of just like being involved in the sport. Okay, I like that. I believe I heard the youngest allowed in the league would be 18 years old.
Yep. So we chose to allow our draft to be no younger than 18. As you can imagine, and you've seen this with other women's sports, the second you exclude people of certain ages, then you're in a lawsuit and you're in court, and we don't need to do that. But most of these coaches understand that athletes at 18 years old aren't tested at the pass-serve game, and that's really what this whole sport is about: is the ability to receive, to serve, and pass a ball. Yeah. And so most coaches are going to want to see those athletes go to college and be tested at that pass-serve game. And so we expect that the coaches will most likely just look at athletes that are graduating and have no eligibility.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing from the Master Coaches podcast, or their videos that they have out on YouTube, is they were concerning about if that would interfere with the NCAA pool, like for like recruits and everything, because some students don't want to go to college. And I don't know if you guys were going to have anything against that.
Nope, nothing against it.
Yeah.
Just takes the right athlete to be drafted.
Yeah, that's true. It's like Kobe Bryant, right?
Yep.
Yep, there you go.
Or LeBron.
Yeah, or LeBron.
Not sure he went to college.
Yeah, that's true. I don't hear anything about like his alumni or anything.
Right.
No? He's a little NBA expert. He knows that. Let's see. With League One coming out at the end of the year, do you see them interfering with the start of next season? And do you see them as a competitor, or are they still not a competitor at this point?
They're not. They haven't started yet, right? So if they do start and they do play in January, they will be a competitor. But I don't think their product is a competitor. It's not anything like ours. They don't have 10 teams. They don't have competitive rivalries. They're placing athletes onto rosters, where in our league, our coaches are allowed to develop their own rosters. And
from
you know,
anywhere.
with them not having any cuts or trades, how do they bring new talent in?
That's true, because
So,
they're starting from
new
like,
exciting
young.
talent.
Yeah, because it's starting off from like club, like when they're young, and then going up until like they
Right.
kind of grow with
Right.
it.
Different
right?
model.
Yeah,
Completely different model.
Yeah, so not that
Oh,
much.
we're here to compete with them for sure,
Yeah.
and we will. We'll absolutely compete with them. But at the end of the day, I just don't see that model. I don't believe in that model and how it's going to be around for a long term.
Yeah, I see the PBF more as like an NFL and like an NBA and everything. So that's why it seems more familiar and like more attractive in a way. So these are fan questions from non-BB peeps, I would want to call them. How do you intend on bringing new fans into this league? What are some ideas you might have to entice people to tune in?
Well, first of all, we need to get on, broadcast networks, and that's what we're doing with our CBS. But our whole mantra is about converting the unconverted. And when they get on CBS and they start channel surfing and they start seeing the athletes perform and the product that's on the floor, they're not going to leave the station, because it is, like I said in many podcasts, women's indoor volleyball is probably the only team sport, that does not take a back seat to the men's version. In fact, I would argue that it's more fun to watch. It's more exciting to watch because the rallies are so good.
Yeah, that's what I always say. I'm like, the men's one's on. I'm like, it's okay. I was like, tell me when the women's are on.
That's right.
It's okay. Where do you see this league in 5 or even 10 years?
Well, in 5 years, I hope to have anywhere from 16 to 24 teams.
16 to 24 teams?
I mean, I could see us being at 20, somewhere along there. We've had a plethora of individuals interested in owning teams, but we want to grow it at an appropriate rate. We want to grow it so that it's competitive and a high level of quality of volleyball, and that we need to make sure that the athletes are taken care of in the right way. And so we're going to go into 2025 with 10. You'll see what 2026 brings.
Yes, of course. What city do you really want to have a team?
Switzerland.
Switzerland?
Maybe Detroit, because that's where I'm from.
Yeah, Detroit. Yeah, there's not one right there just yet.
Nope.
And then not for 2025, not in that market. Why was Vegas on your list of cities to have a team? What influenced that decision, and what made the Dollar Loan Center Arena your venue of choice for the thrill?
Well, Vegas is a great sports town, period. Look at what they're doing with the Raiders. They're building a new baseball stadium. Excuse me. The Dollar Loan Center was the perfect size.
Yeah.
Right? Any bigger and you're not going to be able to fill it up. But 55, 56, I think it's 6,000. That's perfect for this city, and it's a quaint, cute little venue, and it's super exciting when we're here watching these phenomenal athletes play, and we just thought that Vegas was needed to happen. We needed 2 in the West, and we got it in San Diego and Vegas.
Yep, and there's no bad seat in the house over here too.
Right,
That's what we like.
right.
Yeah. Will there be an all-star game weekend like there are in other sports league? I'm assuming.
I think we're going to grow into that for sure. Probably not this first year. We're certainly looking at it and what that looks like. But at the end of the day, probably not in year 1, but most likely year 2 and beyond.
Year 2?
Yep.
Yeah. Nice. I love it. Last question. As a CEO, what advice do you have for all the young women out there that may be watching this?
Follow your dreams.
Follow your dreams?
Yeah. Just, do what you say you're going to do and follow your dreams, because I certainly have made some really good career moves in my life, and all of them have led me to this role. And I couldn't be happier in it. I couldn't be happier to do it. I couldn't be happier serving these women and serving the American people and bringing this sport to them, because it's such an exciting sport to watch.
Okay, I love that. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah, that's it. That's all
All
we
right.
have here. Well, you heard it here. The games being broadcasted on CBS will not be streaming live on YouTube. So make sure you have access to that if you guys want to watch the games live. And don't forget to dig up those tickets for the championships in Omaha. The link will be in my description below. That's the scoop for today. Don't forget to like this video, comment who you think will make the championship weekend, and subscribe to the channel to see more content coming soon. Rally up.